Scratching pen is required for race number 3 because out goes the final word. In comes go, go, go for Luke Ferraris and Chris So. It is a Class 4 over the 1200 metres on the turf, and Superhighway's looking for the hat-trick. Pins Prince, he raced wide last time on a wet track. He was first up from a break. Lucky Fun's a 2-time winner in this grade. Sunlight Powers had 2 starts for a 3rd and a 4th. Go Heroes on debut. He's had the 4 trials. Wider draw for Ho Ho Star. King of the Court comes back from the 1650 of Happy Valley last time. Noble One wears blinkers for the first time, and Commanding Missile, Michael Chang has put the blinkers back on him. Jerry Chow takes the ride and a couple of pounds off Tom.
Pace here with Oriental Spirit. He led up last time out with a low draw over the 1200 metres at Happy Valley. King of the Court, first up for 73 days. Go Hero Paul's a newcomer. His trial's been a bit mixed. He wasn't the quickest away in his last barrier trial, and wasn't a lot of pressure put on him, but his prior trial he led and gave quite a bit of ground in the straight.
He did. So barrier 4, I think they'll be quite positive. Me Choi likes to push his horses forward. King of the Court, as you mentioned, he's way back in trip too. His wins was off 1650, so he's fresh up over 12. Lucky Banner, I think, will have to go back. Noble One. Go, 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 who comes into the race, hasn't shown too much pace, and he's normally towards the back.
We'll have some more from the boys in just a moment. Firstly, though, Superhighway, extra £6 at his last start win. Nick asked Matthew Chadwick if he could win again.
Matthew, Superhighway is a horse that you've put together a good rapport with. He's won his last couple and he's been doing a really good job.
Yeah, he ran well. He's won a couple of times now, so hopefully he can continue with the job.
Last time out, he sort of had to knuckle down to the task, but he's shown a really good attitude to do so. Has that always been a trait of his?
Yeah, look, he hit a wet track a couple of times. He went well on it the first time he won. Frankie said the forecast was going to rain, so he backed him up. It took a bit out of him the second time, so we came back, just decided to give him a bit of a break in between. So he's done that. He seems to have tried back well again, so hopefully he can do another repeat.
A couple of factors with him this time. He's on a career high marks, obviously a bit more weight, but he has got a good gait. So does that slightly nullify the rising weight in your mind?
Hopefully, yeah. Look, last time, the second time he drew wide again, but the track was a bit wet, so he was a bit slower out because the first one took a bit out of him. But this time, hopefully, he can jump a bit smarter and be a bit closer in the run. So hopefully, the gait will help him a bit.
Just finally, you've ridden him on all types of going. Obviously, his last couple of wins, soft, good to yielding. You've ridden him on good. Is he a better horse when there's a bit of dig out of the ground? I mean, this weather recently might just help him.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the forecast is to rain, so if there's a bit more cushion in the track, that'll help him. He seems to go well on it, so he seems to let down on it well, so let's hope for the best.
Plenty of rain around in Hong Kong at the moment. It is supposed to improve for Sunday too, so we'll see what happens when they do get underway later in the day. Sunlight Power, Paul's been back to the trials. Now he wins this trial, but he wanted to hang pretty badly down the straight.
Look, he's been green in both his 2 runs to date, but there's a lot of raw ability there. I think with experience, you're going to see a really good horse here. I'm going to take the chance that he's sort of learning. As you say, he was hanging a little bit, but there's definitely the raw ability.
Yeah, there is, and he just needs to put it all together, and he's getting slowly better. 3rd on debut, 4th last time out. Yes, beaten by a bigger margin, but he was quite a bit more difficult last time out, I thought, as well. But he did seem to be under a good enough hold there at the line, so he must be a big chance in this.
Here's a Go Hero, Tom. Now, he's had the 4 trials. Karis Teton for Me Choi. This is his most recent one, where he runs 3rd behind O-Liner.
Yeah, and he hit 3 trials in New Zealand as well, a couple with Graham Richards and Rogan Norval, I think one with Chad Ormsby as well. So he'd been around a couple of different trainers. He was through the Ready to Run sale for $260,000. This was the best trial out of them all, Paul. I wasn't too phased on the one prior to this.
No, 10.45 pounds. He's not the biggest horse around. Like, he's by Kermadec, so I just wonder if he needs further as well.
That is the first starter. This is not a first starter. Paul, King of the Court's run 3rd at the trials. As you said, he's dropping sharply back in trip, but he has raced over 1200 before. Yeah,
and he has raced well, but I think at 1650 Happy Valley's where his win was, so prefer to see him there. So, look, I haven't included him.
Pulled up with substantial blood in the trachea last time out. It was deemed unacceptable there at Happy Valley, and he was beaten 14 lengths winning the market at 9.6. But the trial looked good enough, but he probably needs a little bit further than this.
That is a wrap of race number 3. We need some selections. It might be the first time we've seen the Sunlight all week this week, if this one can win.
Exactly. Sunlight Power is the horse that I do like in this contest. just the 2 starts, and he can be a bit of a difficult ride. So with Zach aboard, I think that's a perfect thing. Any rain around's obviously going to help Super Highway because his last 2 runs have been on wet tracks. Like Blinker's going on Noble 1, so he goes in there for 3rd. I'm going to put Oriental Spirit in. It was a better run from him last time when he led. He's going to be in the right place when he did run 4th, so he goes in just on a minor line. 4, 1, 10, 12.
I think Sunlight Power definitely the one to beat as long as he can put it all together. Noble 1, the blinkers are going on. He was withdrawn with a lameness issue at the start last time out, but he has trialled well with the blinkers on too. Super Highway, and did like the run from Pins Prince. He was up on the pace wide, and with all that he stayed on behind Pulsar Strider. Of course, he's been able to come out and do it again. 5th in a recent trial up at Chungfa. 4, 10, 1 and 2.
And for treble punters, race number 3 is the first leg of the early treble.